GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
Construction crews at the Udall des Carrières site in Le Plateau, Montreal are set to pause operations next week as they begin the customary 2-week summer vacation. The break, scheduled to start on Tuesday, July 19th and run through Monday, August 1st, will see all activity at the quarry-related project temporarily halted. This pause aligns with the province-wide tradition that sees most construction work on the island shut down for the height of summer. Workers and contractors use the interval to rest, perform equipment maintenance, and plan upcoming phases. Residents can expect a brief reduction in noise and traffic around the site during the period. Local businesses nearby also anticipate a quieter downtown stretch as trucks and deliveries pause. The industry-wide holiday has been a fixture in Quebec's construction calendar for decades, and the Udall des Carrières schedule follows that long-standing pattern.
Tomorrow and Saturday, the Cameroonian community will open its 12th annual Cultural Day in La Salle. The event will take place at the La Salle Community Center near the Latching Canal, with support from the Borough Council. Organized by the Ngok-Tungia Cultural Association, the 2-day festival runs July 18th and 19th, featuring music, dance, traditional food, and crafts that highlight Cameroon's vibrant heritage. Community leader Shemba Samuel says the event aims to showcase the diversity of Cameroonians living here and to share that richness with the city. Attendees can expect live drumming, a fashion showcase of traditional attire, and a marketplace where local artisans display handmade wares. Family-friendly activities include storytelling sessions for children and a cooking demonstration of classic Cameroonian dishes. The celebration continues the association's yearly effort to bring cultural pride to Montreal's neighborhoods and invites anyone curious about the country's customs to join the festivities.
Quebec officials announced today that the province has approved a comprehensive interior renovation of the Olympic Stadium, commonly known as the Big O, and confirmed that the ongoing roof replacement will culminate in a permanent structure. The plan calls for modernizing seating areas, updating concession facilities, and improving accessibility throughout the arena, while the new fixed roof will address the long-standing problems of the faulty retractable system. Construction crews are slated to begin interior work later this summer, with the roof project already underway on the stadium's iconic tower. Provincial spokespersons said the upgrades aim to extend the venue's usefulness for concerts, sports events, and community gatherings. Funding will be drawn from the province's infrastructure budget, and the project is expected to proceed without further delays. Officials anticipate the revitalized arena will attract major international events within the next decade.
Quebec Police Ethics Commissioner has opened a formal probe into claims of racist and discriminatory conduct by officers in the Montreal Nord neighborhood. The investigation follows complaints that some members of the police force targeted residents based on ethnicity, reigniting tensions that have simmered in the diverse community. Montreal Nord, a neighborhood noted for its cultural diversity, has long been a flashpoint for police-community relations. Officials say the probe will examine internal policies, interview witnesses, and review any relevant footage. The Ethics Commissioner emphasized that the inquiry aims to determine whether conduct breached provincial anti-discrimination statutes and police codes of conduct. The Commissioner's office, which oversees conduct across Quebec's police services, will coordinate with the Provincial Human Rights Commission if warranted. Both the SPVM and local advocacy groups have pledged cooperation, though the probe's scope remains broad. The investigation remains ongoing, with updates expected as findings develop.
On Wednesday, a free retrospective lecture will honor illustrator Donald Caron for 3 decades of poster work with the Fantasia Festival. The event, hosted at the York Amphitheatre on Concordia's campus, marks the festival's 30th anniversary and celebrates Caron's designs that have adorned the Montreal International Film Festival program since 1997. Festival organizers say the lecture will showcase a curated selection of his most iconic images, offering insight into the visual evolution of the genre-bending showcase. Attendees can expect a walk through the history of the festival's branding, followed by a brief Q&A with Caron himself. Admission is complimentary and seating is limited, so film enthusiasts are encouraged to arrive early. The York Amphitheater's open-air setting will provide a vibrant backdrop for the visual showcase. The lecture underscores the enduring partnership between the festival and the local creative community.
We'll preview the Calgary Stampeders hosting our Alouette Saturday and the flood losses topping $1.1 billion. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you're still with us. Let's dive in. Rachel Reed has the local stories you need to hear.
Saturday's CFL Showdown will see the Calgary Stampeders host the Montreal Alouette in a regular season rematch. After splitting their first meeting earlier in the year, both clubs are looking to settle the score as they head into the second encounter of the campaign. Calgary's McMahon Stadium is set to fill with fans eager to watch the Stampeders defend their home turf, while Alouette supporters will travel north hoping to swing momentum back in their favor. Coaches from both sides have highlighted adjustments made since the opening game, particularly in the passing attack and defensive schemes. The outcome could shape playoff positioning for each team as the season reaches its midway point. Ticket holders can expect a lively atmosphere, with local businesses already gearing up for the influx of visitors. Restaurants along the stadium corridor are planning special menus to welcome the crowds.
Severe thunderstorms that swept through Manitoba and Saskatchewan in June, combined with unprecedented flooding in the Montreal area, have driven insured losses to a staggering $1.1 billion, the Insurance Bureau of Canada reported. The deluge battered homes, businesses, and infrastructure, leaving thousands of residents dealing with ruined basements, damaged roofs, and disrupted utilities. Adjusters rushed to the scene, processing claims that spanned rural farms to dense urban neighborhoods. Officials said the weather events marked the highest insured damage total recorded for the year, underscoring the financial strain on households and insurers alike. Municipal crews have been working around the clock to pump water from streets and restore power to affected districts. As cleanup efforts continue, many families face lengthy repairs while insurance payouts begin to flow, shaping the region's recovery in the weeks ahead.
Pronema, the newly opened animal refuge in the city, is currently handling a surge that has doubled its normal intake. Staff report that roughly 25 animals are being surrendered each day, about twice the usual number. The spike follows the recent moving season when many residents relocate and leave pets behind. Volunteers say the influx strains kennel space, food supplies, and veterinary services, prompting the shelter to extend operating hours and seek additional donations. City veterinarians are monitoring the health of the incoming animals closely. Animal control officials note that abandoning pets during moves is a growing concern, and they are urging owners to consider rehoming options before a relocation. The shelter's director emphasized that each surrendered animal requires immediate care, and the organization is coordinating with local foster networks to alleviate overcrowding while the situation remains ongoing.
Mayor Michael Stern will face a citation from the Quebec Municipal Commission for 7 alleged ethics breaches. The commission says the accusations involve disrespectful language and uncivil conduct towards city officials and staff. If the citation proceeds, it marks the first time a Westmount mayor has been formally charged with multiple ethics infractions. The commission, which monitors municipal compliance across the province, will release its findings later today. Residents can expect the city council to review the matter in an upcoming meeting, where the mayor may be required to respond to the allegations. The outcome could affect how municipal employees interact with elected officials and set a precedent for future oversight. The Commission's role is to ensure ethical standards are upheld, and this case underscores its active involvement in local governance.
The REM operator confirmed that service between Panama and Central stations has been suspended since 4:48 this afternoon. Trains have been idle for more than 3 hours, leaving commuters on the affected line without alternative rapid transit options. Officials said the cause remains unknown, and a technical team is currently investigating the interruption. The REM, which connects downtown with surrounding neighborhoods, carries thousands of riders each day, so the stoppage is expected to ripple through morning and evening travel plans. Station staff are on site directing passengers toward nearby bus routes, and several bus lines have been temporarily rerouted to accommodate displaced riders. Local merchants near Panama Station reported a sudden drop in foot traffic as commuters wait for the line to resume. Riders are advised that the disruption continues while crews work to restore service, and that updates will be provided as soon as the investigation yields results.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what tonight's weather has in store for us.
A relentless western jet streams the mid-level air, keeping Montreal dry while high pressure stalls any fronts. On this date, Montreal once scorched to 30.6 degrees Celsius back in 2022, a blistering peak that rode the tail of an unprecedented heat dome across the province. Conversely, the chill of 13.6 degrees set in 2015 during a sudden Arctic surge that plunged the city into a rare early summer freeze. Normal highs hover around 26 degrees and lows near 19, so both extremes sit well outside the climatological envelope. Those records remind us how quickly the jet stream can flip from a warm ridge to a cold trough. The live radar shows a blank canvas across southern Quebec, with no rain echoes moving toward the island. A shallow high-pressure ridge dominates, suppressing lift and keeping the moisture locked aloft. With the fast westward jet steering any system well north of us, precipitation will remain absent through the night. As I step away from the screen, the next segment will detail what the steady atmosphere means for the coming hours. At 11 p.m., Montreal sits under a thick overcast with the temperature lingering around 20 degrees. Humidity rests at 44%, dew point 8, and visibility stretches 16 kilometers. A gentle southwest breeze whispers at 5 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 24, barely noticeable. Pressure remains steady under a broad high, while a powerful westward jet streaks at 166 kilometers per hour aloft, locking the air mass in place and preventing any frontal intrusion. The UV index reads 7, though the sun has set. Light winds will hold through the early morning, keeping the night calm. By sunrise, the ridge will dominate, delivering an overcast day with highs climbing to 28 and lows slipping to 15. No weather alerts are active, so the night proceeds uneventful. Looking ahead, Saturday brings a cooler high of 24 degrees and a low of 14, but the sky stays overcast with a 45% chance of rain. Sunday clears dramatically, offering a bright blue canvas, high 24 and low 15, perfect for outdoor plans. Monday returns to cloud cover, high 25 and low 16, though precipitation remains absent. Tuesday repeats the overcast theme, high 25 and low 19, with a 45% rain probability that could bring scattered showers. Wednesday turns wet, as a deep low pressure system pushes heavy rain across the region, high 24, low 18, and a 75% chance of rain, signaling the most active day of the stretch. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic updates across the island, a look at tonight's concerts, and a quick dive into our sports highlights. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
Local soccer is surging and hockey season already has a date. The Montreal Roses picked up a big Northern Super League win earlier this month, topping the visiting Halifax Tides 1-0. The decisive moment came from substitute Chloe Minas, who stepped up and converted from the penalty spot in the 77th minute to seal it for Montreal. The Roses are also building for the future. The club announced the signings of Marie-Yasmine Aladou and Yves Perisset, two internationally pedigreed players described as high-profile additions to the Montreal roster. A significant off-pitch move for the club. Mark your calendars, Canadiens fans. The 2026 to 2027 NHL season opens September 29th with an all-Canadian showdown. Montreal visits Toronto on opening night, while Edmonton hosts Vancouver later that same evening. A strong start to the league's new calendar.
On a breezy Saturday afternoon on St. Laurent Boulevard, students, alumni, and faculty gathered outside the historic facade of the College of Montreal. They carried handmade signs in soft pastel blues, each bearing a single word: respect, safety, hope. The crowd formed a quiet circle around a small wooden table where a local nonprofit had set up a resource hub, offering counseling pamphlets and a space for anyone to share their story. What began as a legal battle over alleged assaults has blossomed into a community movement. Yesterday, the college announced a comprehensive overhaul of its safeguarding policies, including a newly appointed independent ombudsperson and mandatory training for every staff member. In the middle of the gathering, a former student stepped forward, her voice steady, to thank the volunteers who helped her find the courage to speak out. The applause that followed felt less like a ceremony and more like a shared promise. It reminds us all why community matters. Montreal's strength lies in its willingness to listen, to stand together, and to turn hardship into lasting change.
On a bright Saturday morning in the heart of the Plateau Montreal, the community center on St. Lawrence Street filled with the hum of conversation as the new Democratic Party unveiled its two new candidates for the upcoming federal by-elections on the island. Pierre Serre, a longtime organizer of local housing initiatives, stood beside Nima Machouf, a recent graduate who has been leading youth climate workshops in the borough. As a brass band from a nearby school played a low, steady rhythm, volunteers passed around fresh croissants and steaming coffee, the aroma weaving through the room like a quiet promise. One moment captured the spirit of the day. A 7-year-old in a bright red jacket raised a handmade sign that read "Future First," and the crowd responded with a spontaneous chorus of applause. The ceremony reminded everyone that politics at its best is a gathering of neighbors seeking shared solutions. As the two candidates exchanged a firm handshake, the room seemed to pulse with optimism for a more inclusive representation. Montreal's community spirit carries forward, one candidacy at a time.
Thank you, Montreal, for watching. Today's deep dive into the Quebec Police Ethics Commissioner's probe into racism claims in Montreal, Nord reminded us how vital accountability is. We appreciate your engagement and look forward to keeping you informed. Join us again tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city.